Today's video we're going to be showing you how to install a hydraulic e-brake on an RX8. You can also use these tips in any hydro e-brake install, and for RX8 specific I'm going to be putting a diagram at the end of the video that you can pause and take a look at. Check it out. So this is my 2005 Mazda RX8. And I got a drift event coming up this weekend, and I'm changing out my old hydraulic e-brake slave cylinder as it's leaking. So I thought this would be a good opportunity, and a bunch of people have been asking me to show how I ran my hydraulic setup. So obviously what you'll need is a cylinder, a bracket, and some sort of handle to make it all work. You can either buy pre-made, or how mine is, like I had the bracket and everything, made the handle. So here we are underneath the car, and the first step is there's two, there it is, right there's one, right there's the other, but there's two brake lines that go from the proportioning valve to the two rear brake setups, and the first thing you need to do is tee them in together. And then once you tee them in together, you're going to run this up to your hydraulic cylinder, and you're going to put that in the back port. And then where it comes back down, you tee them back together and then run it back to the two rear brake setups. I'll draw a diagram and also point out what fittings you need, but that's kind of all there is. It's pretty simple. I know a lot of people get confused about running the brake lines. That's pretty much it. The hardest part's actually going to be what cylinder you get and finding the fittings for that. So when choosing a cylinder, obviously Wilwood is a great option. The 0.75 bore is what's sized properly for the RX8. And if you get the Wilwood, the rear fitting, which is going to be your inlet, is actually a goofy fitting, but you can get it from asdmotorsports.com. It's like $8 or something like that. And then that adapts the goofy fitting on the Wilwood to a standard brake line fitting that's easily accessible at any hardware store. And as you can see in my old setup, I couldn't find it and I was running out of time, so I just welded some AN fittings on there, which also might have been the problem on why it's leaking. But yeah, we're gonna start bending some lines and get this hooked up. So I would have liked to film more, but it started raining the other day and I didn't want my camera to get wet. But anyway, so here it is with the hard lines ran. Once again, the rear outlet is coming from the front of the car, and then the front outlet goes to the rear of the car. And like I said, at the end of this video I'm going to put up a full diagram and try and list all the parts if you want to do the Wilwood setup. So the last step is to bleed the brake system. Now John isn't here with me, so I had bought one of these self-bleeding kits. It comes with a little, this will go inside, so it fills for me, which it's actually doing now. So let me close the valve. Anyway, it's got the bottle to fill for you. And then go to the back here. It's got this that you hook up to an air compressor. Here's the kit. I'll put a link for that as well. But anyway, you put your air compressor to it, and then you put this fitting on the nipple, and when you pull the trigger it creates a vacuum and sucks all the old stuff out, or sucks your air bubbles out. And once you got clean fluid coming out, you close the valve, the nipple, and you're done.